out.
And Chris Novak?
Yeah. Yes, sir. How you doing?
Good, how are you?
Good.
You? Is the contact phone number for you, sir?
Sure. 993?
Yep.
3866 and
No, that's six there. Oh, there's supposed to be three on this side, two on that
Okay,
side.
that's what I was.
Yeah, three on that side, two on this side. This is Artie's chair, always has been, always will be.
It's the pizza chair tonight.
And your name?
Pizza chair tonight.
Yep. Yeah, you get one too. I don't know. They just.
Just need a contact phone number, please?
Yep. Yep.
Nice. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you very much. You're welcome.
It's the first thing he's done.
Thank you. Looking for,
Well, I think he's probably
Neil?
do this
He's not
as
here yet.
and Sarah.
Yeah.
Sarah will be here. And Neil will be here.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I gotta get an album because I got quite a collection now.
You know what's kind of funny though?
I like to see that.
We have been served before we took our oath
I
of
just-
office,
yeah,
so
that's
it's
what I
null
just-
and void.
Just saying.
Oh, here we go.
Okay, let's see. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. They propose it. Oh, no, no, if you wait until they took the oath, none of the town's business would be able to be handled. I'm on the football down on TV, so you can't read my lips. Did you ever notice that?
Oh, Margaret, you crack me up.
Wasn't that what they do
Yeah, they do.
on TV?
The football guys.
Right, Bob? I want to talk about you, I do this so you can't read my lips?
Okay, here's, I gave you a copy, no, I didn't give you a copy. This is for the organizational meeting Friday night,
Thank you.
all right? So they have it when they get ready to, so you can take a look at it beforehand. This is the minutes from last Wednesday's meeting. All right, and as long as you're here, I guess I'll start swearing you in so it doesn't take forever to swear everybody in.
Okay.
Okay, I need you to print your name here, raise your right hand and read it to me what it says.
I, Henry Vandenberg, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of town council according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations. You want to sign it there? And I will sign it.
Thank you.
Okay. Neil,
Yes.
put your name in the top there. You want a pen? Here, you can grab this one.
Nice and cold up there.
Oh,
Yeah,
that one right there. Chris, you want to put
freezing.
your name?
Neil, hang on a second. This gentleman wants to see you. Before you take your oath, will you grab?
Where are you?
All right. Today is the 4th day of June.
Need a contact phone number, please?
I think I gotta get a new form. These are all
Because
1900s.
they haven't been sworn in yet.
Look at that.
Yeah. And then I gotta put a seal on it, and then you're all official.
I don't know.
Okay, thank you.
And-
Okay, name right here, right?
Yep, yeah, while you're doing that, and this is your, you gotta fill this out so you can get paid.
Okay.
All right, and.
Uh-huh.
All right, got all of them. Oh, hold on, man. Just a minute here. everybody gets one, not a whole bunch of. Okay, Neil, raise your right hand and read that to me, hon.
I, Neil Yurden, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of town councilman according to the best of my ability.
Congratulations.
Thank you, Linda.
And please sign it right there. Okay. Now sworn in. Chris?
Can you wait a moment? My significant other's gonna be here.
Oh, okay.
She
All
wanted to
right.
see
She wants
that.
it. She wants it.
She wanted to see it because,
All
you know, I
right,
caused her
that's
lots
fine
of
with me.
heartaches, so I thought maybe
All right.
we could.
You guys don't have to do this right now.
Okay.
Oh,
All right, you
okay.
can bring it back to me. You get paid. You can bring it back when Friday's meeting because you got to have it before you can get paid on
Okay.
the end of the meeting for the month, at the end of the month. This is your New York State withholding, and there's a lot of paperwork there, okay? There's mostly all worksheets on that. This is your W-4s, okay? Your
Yeah, we're
W-4s,
like employees.
and also Department of Justice, whatever that's for. I have no idea what that's for. We all have to do it.
All right.
And this is for New York State retirement.
I'm retired.
Huh?
I'm retired. I never worked for the state.
Oh, you never worked for the state, okay.
I have worked for the state.
You have worked for the state, but you're not retired yet.
I am retired,
You are retired.
but
We
not
still
from the
got,
state of New York.
okay, all right, well, you still gotta answer them, and either yes you do or you do not. And
Okay.
you have to sign it,
There's
okay?
that. I actually am retired from the state of New York because I get a TIA credit from the university.
Oh, your team.
Oh, all right.
So does Pam.
Okay, great, great. Well, you still have to put there, yes you do or no, you don't want to, do it, I guess. And as long as I have them next Friday night, we're all fine, because, she does the payrolls
Okay.
on, it won't be. Right here, they never do my calendar. It won't be this Monday night will be.
Today's the 4th.
Coming, yeah, the 4th. The 11th will be a payroll, and then the following week will be a payroll. So the 25th, 26th, something like that. So, you know, you need it for then. Okay, let's see. Get these done and put stuff on them and everything. Oh, yeah?
Got a lot there.
I used to drive to school bus and then I'm sitting all day long. So, yeah, I like to, I get a chance to stay.
I just knew I was supposed to.
Could it be any colder? I know it's freezing. It's supposed to warm up Thursday. Yeah. I can handle 2 days of being cold. No big deal.
Broke my second chainsaw today. Did you
You
see
know,
that? I
it's
had to
not-
bring it back
not
in.
like last year where it was
Are you
constant.
through on chainsaws?
Oh, man.
weather.
Cutting big wood.
Yeah, I couldn't start it. It's a burger job.
I wonder if these meetings will last 2 hours like the other ones.
No. This is just a
That- that's-
Yeah.
Hopefully,
Football? Yeah.
hopefully the calls on my house will stop.
Why would,
That's because everybody's calling about the sidewalk and down by the Nelson School. It's a town thing. I said, no, it's not.
Well, I think.
It's gotten, I mean, we had a few calls over the years past, but it's been getting really bad ever since we had snowfall.
What I think is they don't understand.
Everybody thinks it's a town's job to do that. It's not, especially when you notice the video of the penny saver. You know what I'm saying? Have you seen those in the penny saver?
Because that's why,
Notices about
that's why we're
keeping
here.
sidewalks
Because
clear?
it's procedural issues. We saw it.
Yeah.
You didn't
People are up in
recognize
arms over that.
She wouldn't let us though. We wanted to close the books out. She
It's not what
Going to
she's,
get the mail.
no, there was a motion. Well, we can discuss it, but that's where I caught it at the same time, and Sarah caught it after the meeting. We said, we ended up not doing it. Do it. But now we have a lawsuit, so I don't know if we can even do this. Is it okay?
That's not a lawsuit, it's an issue.
Oh, it's an order to show cause, so. That'd be fun. Yeah, you're out. You're heading up there. I'm not heading up until next week. Yeah. We get the approval. I think we're gonna go anyway. Are you going?
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking of going for 2 to 3 days because I have, I got a log truck coming to pick up 85 linear logs on 20. So,
Any business you're not doing?
you know what? I'm just a lowly farmer, okay?
Maybe I'll buy some blocks from the building.
So. Okay, so let's see what this says.
I'm not sure what she's doing. I retired, I don't see her half the time, I don't know. No, I don't think she's doing all this. I don't know if she's at, I don't know if she's, she's not working at the lodge, no.
Okay, that's all right.
Hang on, I'm here.
Sorry. I don't think it, I just, the attorney,
She might go with them, grandchildren. I don't know.
that's why.
Oh, she's going,
Oh, I
she's got a meeting at the lodge.
Clift.
I'll get a chair.
That's all right, I'm just filling out my paperwork.
Okay, raise your right hand and read that out loud.
Okay. Hi.
Let's, I'm sorry. We're gonna call the meeting to order and then swear each one person.
Oh.
You can't do that. They have to be sworn in before they call the meeting in order, I think.
They're done.
They're already done. I've already
Those
done
two
them.
did them, but what, I held off, so what do you need to do?
Go for it.
Okay.
Next time wait for me.
Oh, well, I thought they had to be sworn in before you called the meeting to order. I'm sorry.
Okay. Can I go now? Okay.
You're next.
Okay. I, Christopher Charles.
And you-
Yeah.
No, they said that.
That's all right. Pardon me, I was just,
Special time.
I was
We worked hard
just
for
working
this.
on the farm before I got here, so apology to my dress. I, Christopher Charles Novak, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of town councilman.
All right, congratulations.
Thank you, ma'am.
And if you sign that, I will sign it and be your witness.
Okay.
Okay. And Sarah, yours is right here. You wanna print your name in there and then, up and top, you got to print it. And I wasn't sure how to spell Hanks. Didn't fill them in. Is it a capital?
It's all one word.
It's
and
all one word?
Yes.
All right, okay, as long as I know it.
No,
Okay, Sarah,
no,
you wanna
no.
raise your right hand and say after, no, you gotta repeat it first.
Oh, got it. Okay. Just read
Yeah,
this?
you just read it.
Okay. I, Sarah Nicoli, do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of New York, and that I will faithfully discharge the duties of town supervisor according to the best of my abilities.
Congratulations.
Thank
Now,
you.
yeah, I just need you to sign it. And we're all set.
Okay, and everybody else has been
Sworn in.
sworn in? Okay. Then I'll go ahead and call the meeting to order. Gavel, gavel.
Oh, I forgot it. The one, I was trying to get everybody's paperwork for them so they could get paid, so. They got all their paperwork, they're gonna bring it back on Friday, so they, all their employments and everything for their payroll.
Okay.
You're already done, so you don't have to do it, but they have to do it.
Okay. So the one and only reason we're here for this meeting tonight is because at the last meeting of the town council on December 30th, the abstracts were not approved. There was not a quorum to approve those abstracts. And however, they were amended. So this council now needs to approve those abstracts and get our bills paid. So they need a copy of the abstracts and the checks.
No, we did, we approved this, we
They weren't
approved the
approved.
abstract. Yes, we did.
No.
It's in the minutes. We approved them and they were voted on.
Yeah.
Here, a motion by Councilman Whitman, second by Councilman Sanders. The abstract order paid as follows. And it says, those voting aye were Whitman and Sanders, supervisor and fully opposed. And town clerk pointed out it was not a quorum, so therefore it could not be paid. But we also went down on farther.
Sarah.
Yeah,
You got them?
Right here. It says, on a motion by, we did, on the abstracts
we voted
were
to
as
amend them.
amended.
Yeah, we voted to amend the abstracts.
Right, right.
We didn't vote to approve them.
Well, the old council already signed them.
Okay, so what checks were sent out?
All of them, except for the two that weren't done, and the two that you pulled.
Okay, so technically, what was paid was never actually approved by the board. So I think we need to cover ourselves by approving them. So do you have the copy of the abstract?
Yeah.
Okay. So this is your first time. Generally what happens is, the abstract is, submitted to Linda prior to the board meeting. Linda makes the abstract available for the town council to review and decide whether to approve. Then checks are cut and I sign them. What happened in this last meeting is that there was not a quorum for the approval. So technically, we mailed them out without the full board approval, and we need that in order to spend the money. So if each of you would just take a look through, Betty and I have seen these already, but you know, this is your first time, so take it seriously. Take your time. We're not in a rush. At the beginning of the at the front of the folder is a summary, and then if you have a question about any of the lines, you know, what if there was a, say, here's a payment to Hanson Aggregates, well, what, you know, and we know it's on line DA2, we know it's on DA 5110. Well, you don't know what that is, so you could look through, go to the back and get some detail on that. So I'll let you each go through that. These are just, as far as I can tell, very, they're just day-to-day expenses, nothing extraordinary in here.
Madam Supervisor, may I ask a question?
Sure.
Okay. Just for clarification, so the original abstracts that were that are there, besides the ones that were voted on to be amended, did come from a budgetary item line previous and were approved for 2015, correct?
Yes, although there's a second, so once all of the abstracts are approved through 2016, we end with some negative balances that need to be transferred into other positive balances. We don't have an overall negative fund balance, a negative, we're not running a deficit, but there are some transfers that would need to be made. So maybe I'll start this way. Whenever transferring from one account line to the other, you want to generally stay within the overall budget category. So you'll see that generally, like if it's general fund, it goes from, not general fund, but townwide fund, it goes from town to town, and then it goes from highway to highway.
Sarah,
Yeah.
what is a garage contractual?
Garage contractual.
Yeah, apparently it's an ongoing expense with some vendors.
I'll have to
A
check into it.
contractual is usually an expense that each department has a contractual and they buy supplies, like if you need, I know my contractual consists of paper, pens.
Oh, so that's, well, that's possibly
I just don't know what garage.
expendable supplies going to Artie, for example.
Yeah, like paper towels
Yeah.
or something like that.
I thought it was what?
I'm pretty sure, but that's what it is in here, but
I thought it
Sarah.
was garage rental going to
No,
someone.
no, I don't think so. And he's not here tonight, so,
No.
yeah, I honest to God, but our contractuals are made up of that. Oh, that's mine, huh?
I'll get you more detail on what we actually pay out on that.
Now, it's my understanding we still have several vouchers submitted for the year 2015 that we haven't paid yet. So will that be contained in the 2015 budget, or will that overflow?
It'll it'll be in the 2015 budget, but we can approve them at our, you can approve that abstract at the regular meeting at the end of the month.
And will it change our negative balances at any, might it, or?
She did her best to project what the year end would
Okay.
be. She did have concern that when you see it, you'll see that the Social Security changed pretty significantly from what was budgeted, and we're not sure why yet. So she wanted to look into that and just make sure that that wasn't a mistake. So, she'll do that. So there's a chance that at that meeting at the end of January, we would have to do a final transfer.
And the two vouchers that didn't make it, that do not have line items in the budget that we would have to vote on, we can't have to wait until our next, to our official meeting to do that, correct? That would be,
Right.
if indeed we decide, whatever we decide, we can't do it because we didn't call to do that as part of regular business, correct?
Right.
Okay.
Well, and my recommendation is, so for the two sort of extraordinary expenses, the payment to Attorney Subic and the payment to MacGyver, I have forwarded it to both of those, I will forward them to the attorney that we plan to appoint.
Okay.
For review and just make sure that those payments are, that they make sense for the town. And so I would recommend that we approve the abstracts minus the payment to Subic and the payment to MacGyver.
Right, because there is some issue if we even have the proper budgetary resolution to have done so. I understand. Okay.
Right, there's no money in the budget for that.
No.
It would be, before we even approve the abstract, we would need to make a resolution. Oh, no. I was thrown off when it seemed like the meeting already started before I sat here. We need to salute the flag.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, so we would then need a motion to approve the voucher report as submitted and the voucher report, this is complicated, the voucher report as submitted does not include the payments to either Subic or MacGyver. So the motion would be to approve as submitted, but I also think that we should clarify that this does not include the payments to Bob Subic or MacGyver.
I make a motion to submit the voucher report as submitted, and to not include the payments to Bob Civic or Mr. MacGyver.
I have a question. Does that include historians?
No. She just said it, so. Do you need a second?
I'll second the motion.
Is there any discussion?
Does it include historians?
No. I'm sorry.
Yes, I believe it did. Yes, I believe,
Yes, it
I'm
did.
sure, I read
Yes, it
$50
did.
for each,
Yeah,
I
that's.
believe. Yes.
Right. And if you would like to approve that, you can. I held those checks.
But they're on that list.
Yes,
Yeah.
they are.
That's right.
So,
I forgot about
just
that.
for clarification,
Such a mess.
Just
We have
for-
a lot of cleaning up to do this year.
just for clarification, where the motion basically is to approve the unamended minutes, correct?
No, because then there would be another amendment to remove the payments to Skip Barscheid and Margaret Schlotzhauer, both who have said that they don't want those checks anyway.
That's not true.
Would you like to submit a report in January?
No other historian has ever given a written report to the board.
Okay, so you would like us to just give you the money and we don't get to know what?
I
you
said I
did?
would verbally give you the report and show you pictures of what had been done. And you didn't give me an opportunity to do that.
Why don't you do that?
I can do that. I don't have the pictures with me tonight, but at the
That's
next
fine.
meeting,
So
we'll
if you-
stand up
This is
and
what
I
I
will
asked
give it
you
to
and you said no.
I said I didn't want to fill out a report a written report because it hadn't been done
That's not
before.
what I asked you, Margaret.
Yes, you did. You asked me for a written report.
Don't yell at me.
Don't talk to me as though I don't know what I'm talking about, because I do, Sarah. Two can play your game.
Okay, so are you going to submit by
I will
writing
submit-
or orally
I
at
will
the January
submit
report,
orally at the
uh,
8th meeting of the 8th.
your work as historian in 2015.
I'd be happy to do that
And
and
you would
show you.
like to
the-
be paid $120?
I would.
Okay. I have no problem with that
I,
whatsoever.
I agree.
Okay, and
agree.
Skip had no interest in being paid, so.
Well, that's up to him.
I
That's
believe
up
they
to-
were taking, instead of taking the money personally, they were using it like to buy a historical marker or something that had to do with the town.
Well, in that
They were
case, you just-
donating it kind of back
Well,
for
that would be up to
services.
them, correct?
You just need
If
to
they're
submit
option.
a request for reimbursement.
I did. You pulled it out. You pulled the check for
No,
Skip and I
You're
out.
asking for a paycheck.
It's the
You
same
said
thing.
that, it's the same thing. The voucher, you said you pulled it out because you didn't want me to get paid.
Normally what happens if somebody does some work and they incur some expenses in doing the work, that would be accounted for by some sort of receipt, or other indication that the work had been performed and be compensating them for that expense. But you could also be paid a salary for that.
That's what this was. This is what
There's
it
a line
is.
item for
It's a
historical,
line item on the budget.
$240.
There's no
For the
line
year.
item for salary.
Is there?
It's right here, Sarah.
There's no, if you do not have a discussion with your employer about what your pay is going to be, you do not get to have a paycheck.
The board, the organizational meeting had agreed to make it $240.
I misspoke. There was no agreement for payment with you. Now, at the end of the year, we have many line items, and we don't necessarily spend every dollar on every one. And actually, we really try not to spend every dollar on everyone, because that does a disservice to the taxpayer. Now, you submitted a voucher at the end of the year for payment, and at the last town board meeting, I just requested that you submit a report letting us know that you did something for this payment. And you're now saying that you are happy to do that in January, correct? And we
Correct.
are happy to pay you. Next time around, there should be a discussion before you voucher. There should be some kind of agreement between the employee and the employer as to what their payment arrangement will be. Just because there's something in this budget, it doesn't mean, the highway guys, they got a lot in there, right? We don't just cut them a check at the end of the year with nothing else. There's no way that does not work.
But you knew
Okay?
that the work had been
And I'm done
done.
arguing with you. So.
I'm done talking to him.
The town board then would approve a payment to Margaret Schlatzauer for historian, remove the payment for Skip Arshide, who told me he did not want that money. And then clarify that this does not include a payment to either Bob Subic or Scott Martin.
All right, so
Right.
let me get this motion right. Hank made a motion, Neil seconded it, to approve the abstracts as submitted minus MacGyver's and Bob Subik's and Skip Barshide?
And Skip Arshide.
Okay. Okay. All right, got it.
As requested by Mr. Parsha.
Yes,
Yes, okay, yes,
yes.
we're just not.
Yeah. Anybody willing to make that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Oh, they already have a motion on the floor.
It changed.
We
It's a-
just
Oh, so
amended
you're
it.
changing,
We
oh,
just
you're gonna do a
amended
whole new one now?
We just
Yeah.
amended it, correct?
Okay, all right,
Get
okay.
it right.
We got it. A second,
I'll second it.
all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
I'm gonna abstain.
Betty abstains. Okay. Okay, that's it, really. However, when I walked in the building, we all were served with papers from Bob Subic against Sarah Nicoli individually and in her capacity as town supervisor. It reads, upon the affirmation of Robert Subic, the affidavit of Sandy McCullough, certified copies of resolutions number 26 and 27 of 2015 and all of their papers and pleadings heard herein. Let Sarah Nicoli, supervisor of the town of Palatine, show cause before this court on the 19th day of January 2016 at 9:30 in the forenoon of that day, or as soon thereafter as council can be heard, as to why an order should not be made directing Supervisor Nicoli to issue checks, pay the vouchers of Robert M. Subic dated November 18th, 2015, and that of MacGyver Design Services, together with such other and further relief as to the court may seem just and proper. And now this paragraph has been struck by Judge Seiss. Further, that a temporary restraining order be and same is hereby issued, restraining the town board of Palatine from taking any action to rescind the decisions of December 20th, 2015, approving payment to Robert M. Subic and MacGyver Design Services pending further action of this court. So that did not hold up. But I do need to now, we do now need to respond to this. My recommendation would be that we make a motion to rescind resolution number 27, which reads, Board Member Michelle Whiteman presented the following resolution and moved its adoption. Resolved that the voucher of Robert M. Subic Esquire in the amount of $8,853.16 submitted on November 18th, 2015 for legal services rendered to the town in the matter of Spencer versus the Town of Palatine, Village of Canajoharie versus Town of Palatine, and Daniel Dean Kamen versus Town of Palatine, a copy of which is annexed here too as Schedule A, being and same is hereby approved, and it is further resolved that a town check in the amount of $8,853.16 be issued to Robert M. Subic as prior and payment of said voucher. Seconded by Board Member Sandra McCullough, adopted by the following votes, 3-1. If we were to rescind resolution number 27, then we could send it to Attorney Dunn to review, make a judgment, make his own, not formal legal judgment, make his own opinion as to which portions, whole or in part, of that voucher needs to be paid, and then we could just make the decision to pay it at the regular meeting in January.
I make the motion to rescind resolution number 27, which advises the payment of Robert Subic in the sum of $8,853.16.
I'll second that.
Okay.
Any discussion?
Yes, I've looked at Schedule A attached. I have a lot of misgivings about what's in there. And I would need some very serious clarification before I would be inclined to approve those monies. And I think that our council would probably do the same thing after seeing them. Also, Madam Supervisor, it almost feels to me that there's some double dipping here because I have not seen a copy of what our contractual agreement is for Mr. Subic, and
There's no contractual agreement.
so we agreed that there's a fee each month, correct? And
A salary.
a salary, and is that against hours, or is it just for the work, just for showing up?
There's no clarity, there was no clarity in writing or orally what defined what was part of the salaried position versus what was part of the contractual. For the first over a year, I believe, I'd have to go check the books, but for the majority of the time that I was here, the payment was only the salary. And then it came later that these checks were, these vouchers were presented, and there was really no clarity about whether, where the salaried work ended and the contractual work began. And so I think that's one of the things that we should really talk to Greg about and
we would be remiss, I think, if we would approve that without seeing the breakdown of one versus the other. We would not be doing our responsibility. It would not be responsible of us to do so, because that means that there's over $20,000 between the 8,000, these 8,000 and the previous 11, of supplemental work over and above, and it's sketchy at best what it's from, including a lot of conferences here with individuals, and I think we should have more.
Now, one thing I will say is that if we go into court on the 19th, that's very expensive. So it would behoove us to settle this before then.
Yes.
So I guess that, right, so now that this is in front of us, I guess we don't have the luxury of waiting until the next.
Should we go into executive session?
Well, I think it would have to be done with the attorney.
Okay.
So,
We haven't appointed a new attorney, have we?
no, that's on Friday.
Right.
So,
Welcome to your appointment.
so what we could do is come up with an agreement prior to the 19th, and then ratify it on the 28th.
What I would love to see, because I had misgivings about it last year, and I really didn't know what was going on last year, so I could have been mistaken, but I'd love to see people other than just the attorney be in on negotiations, because I always felt as though the council itself often didn't know what the attorney had finagled with somebody.
I certainly didn't know. So why don't we'll give this information to Greg, and then he really can't do anything until he's appointed on Friday.
Sure.
And then after that, ask him to come up with a decent settlement proposal. Hopefully have it agreed on, and then we can ratify it at the regular meeting. He may tell us we have to actually have another special meeting for this. I don't know.
It's also clear here that on looking at Resolution 27 against what was submitted today in the order to show cause, is that there was no resolution on the 27th to take care of MacGyver Design Services at all.
No, there wasn't.
Okay, so that's not even part, there was never any authorization to do so. So
Yeah,
now,
no, that's not. Right.
right,
There was a
a motion to amend the abstracts, but not to find a budget and pay for it. Okay.
Okay, so we have the motion on the table. It's been seconded. Any more discussion? Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
I abstain.
Sorry. No opposed, and Betty abstains. Great. And then, lastly, this, the transfers. Again, we could do this now to prepare for the final report, which is due on the 30th and which I'll present on the 28th. Or you could do this separately on the 28th. It's up to you. I don't have one way or the other, but I did just want you to see it. Do you prefer to do it now or later? Now is, I think it's better to do it closer to the end of the year because you never want to carry negative balances, and so technically we'll be carrying this negative balance through till the 28th. But since you're also just coming in and haven't had a chance to really get acquainted with the budget, I would understand if you want to take a little bit more time with it.
On your advice, I think I'd rather wait.
Okay. Does anybody
I'm good
else?
with waiting.
Whatever best practices should be on this particular procedure.
Well, it's supposed to be done on the 30th, right?
But we're
supposed to
playing a
close the
guessing
books
game,
out.
right?
You
Well,
don't,
usually have a year-end meeting and you transfer funds then.
usually what the town board does is a blanket resolution, which just says, it's a motion to make appropriate transfers by the supervisor's office to balance 2015 lines, and it's blank. And that allows me to then make the appropriate transfers and close the books. But it's actually, you're giving me like a blank, you're approving
Well-
something you haven't even seen. So, and I don't think that's actually best practice. I think this is a much better way to do it. And you don't close the books on the 30th. You have to, there are always additional invoices that come in after you end up.
That's why you do the transfer, so that you can pay the bills when they
Right,
come
but
in.
correct me if I'm wrong, Madam Supervisor. In light of this payment, it would be a shot in the dark to actually do a transfer now, because we may have to appropriate X number of dollars on top of that.
Yeah, and actually, I also, looking at the resolutions from the 30th, the board did approve a transfer out of general fund of $8,853.16. I don't know about the MacGyver, the MacGyver.
Right, which is almost $1,700 if I remember correctly.
Yeah, we'd
So-
have to check whether that's available.
Okay.
Sarah, in the minutes of one meeting, I don't know which one, I think didn't they vote to transfer $5,000 out of that account to pay
That's
any?
in November.
So would MacGyver go under that one?
There may be enough. in
I
there.
know we had a motion, I would have to look up the minutes to see which one it was, if you
Yeah.
want me to look them up and see.
Yeah, I remember that. It was
It's in November, I think.
Yeah, so there may be enough from already transferred out, so I just have to check on it.
Mhm.
I'll be glad to look up the minutes if you want it, so they got a copy of it.
Yeah, thank you.
I'd also like to get a copy of the voucher from the guy. We have one from Sue, but not one.
Oh, okay.
Since we have to deal with it, it'd be nice to see it.
Okay. Can these guys get a copy of that one?
Yep. Yes, I can.
All right, so we're holding this resolution,
Yes.
and that's it. We need the motion to adjourn.
I have a question. Do we have to send a letter to the clerk of the works?
Yeah, oh yeah, that's what we had 3 letters for the works too. Yeah, thank you, Betty. I picked them up today and I was wondering about them. We
notified.
we rejected all of the other bids, but we didn't reject any of the clerk of the works. There was 3 of them that applied for the clerk of the works. What do we do with them?
We will need to reject them.
So we can't do it until.
I'd rather do it as part of a regular meeting
Mhm.
because it wasn't.
Okay, all right, well,
It wasn't
Okay.
noticed or.
I didn't think about it till I picked them up today.
So I'll just make sure that's on the
Agenda for.
agenda for next time. Not Friday, for January
agenda
28th.
for regular meeting, right?
Make a motion to adjourn?
I second the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay. Thank you all.
Thank you all for coming.
Hey, how come there was no public comment?
Because it wasn't a regular meeting.
Oh. Any summer? Good. Good, good.
Well, thank you. What?
They told me no glasses. I just sold over. Thank you. Huh?
Oh, yeah, for them. You can have it. There's more there. There are lots of it at home. You get it. Huh?
Sarah, that wasn't for Now we got it right.
That's the only reason we need it.
Right, I got it.
Because
Fix
that's
it.
right, yeah.
You're fixed. Okay. How do we fix it? Even though the text left,
They still have a meeting? I think they're done, right? So they're still talking. You know, when you guys talked, there was a meeting.
Thank you, Sarah. Good night,
So
Sarah.
note on this, the X who's expiring,
Okay.
this we need to
It is a meeting.
replace them or ask them to.
If there's still interest.
Huh?
Don't continue to say, okay.
The only board member who has given me. And I don't think they will be willing to keep going, although it would be good if we did. EJ?
Are you guys still meeting? No? I'm wondering because, when past council members got together to talk, you guys called it a meeting. I just wondered.
Good night, all.
Look at all that pizza. I can't.
Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Sorry that was such a.
No, we got
I was
it.
like, what the heck am I on?
So you should have everything you need for the next meeting.
So that's a copy. Oh, I got it.
And that's the copy that Sarah has.
Okay, of the,
Right there in the.
That's what we hope
Depends on what's in it. It's all recyclable. right in there.
Well, it's on video. The entire thing's on video. You gotta look at it. Doesn't make any difference. They still have to pay. They can't not pay them. No, they can't. All the work that he's been doing, all the court,
Why do I think that?
all the court cases and everything that he's been doing. I know. You know, the Walker books, and he's back and forth to court. I know. Back and the Carmen Court. Last week just came up.
Okay.
A whole bunch of things just come up. He can't been back and forth to court.